sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Hi guys, I'm Fabio the CEO and welcome to my YouTube channel. And we are in May. So it's a new month, and this month I call you value yourself, be yourself, love yourself. Why I choose these three really important and powerful elements. This month is going to be a really important month here in the UK because we celebrate for 1 week the mental health week. It's called mental health awareness. So I would like to talk about mental health during this month. And what does it mean mental health? How you can solve your issue with if you have any problems. And let's talk about uncomfortable subjects because there is such a huge stigma around mental health. We have to talk about that. Why am I using this voice like with my voice is like a bit down? Anyway, but doesn't mean how many people are suffering right now any problems regarding mental health. The last statistic of last year was more than 300 million people around the world. I think after this pandemic, the number is going to be double or more because of course we are still living a big trauma. And when I see people, not only my clients but as well friends, we have this kind of conversation, we are not anymore living when we go back to this normality. It's not normality, it's the new normality. So mental health is going to be fundamental for all people, not only for the people, for the companies, for the community, for the society, for everybody. But sometimes when we talk about mental health, there are so many different subjects. Because we can talk about anxiety, depression, bipolar. There are so many disorders about that, disturbable personality. There are so many issues around mental health. And what I'm going to talk in this period is about the different kind of techniques. Every week I will talk about one technique, but it depends really about how challenging is your moment. Because of course, one technique, one person, one professional person cannot help in some challenging that we are living right now. In my case, and I'm going to tell you a short story about my issue with the mental health. 7 years ago, as you know, my life has been really a challenging life. If you watch, I hope that you watched my video. And from 19 to 31, my life, I would call during the day good Fabio, during the night bad Fabio. And who was this bad Fabio? Bad Fabio loved doing a lot of sex, a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol. I would call sex, drugs, and rock and roll. But it's not that funny. I was feeling really empty. As well, if I had many friends, I was feeling really lonely. I'm not ashamed about my story anymore. But 7 years ago, I was in London. It was my first time that I moved to London, and I was not happy. I was doing so many bad things, and after 1 month that I was so low, I wanted to finish. I wanted to end my life, and that was really painful. It's well for me to tell you right now that it was not easy to live with that feeling. Then when you arrived, I think there is that was my lowest point. I'm not ashamed. I will talk a lot about that experience during this month because I want to stop people think that if you share moment like that, you have to feel shamed. It's no shame. It's okay. It's okay to talk about that. It's okay. When I was here, I understood that if I was still living in London, my life would end it probably. So I made a huge decision that after 13 years, I moved back to live in a small village in Italy, in Salerno. This is a beautiful place, but to live back with my parents, of course, was the most difficult thing I have done in my life. because at the time I had so much hate, I had so many problems. And what I'd say all the time, you take your, today I'm not wearing a shirt, but you take that with your, I don't know now the name of, and what happened that I started doing, I understood that and I started doing therapy. After my therapy, I had a coach, I had a hypnotherapist, I did MDR therapy, I did all therapy in my life. I read books because I wanted to change. I saw a psychiatrist as well when because I was so low, if I needed some help. But don't be ashamed about that. We are humans. And we are humans, and most of the time, if we don't have a physical problem, we think that we shouldn't talk about that. But our mind, it's everything. So I suffered all the problems that I suffered so many problems about my anxiety was so high. I was feeling, I had some panic attack. So I had to develop some skills with myself. And for me today, the reason because I do what I do, especially for my community LGBTQ, and I define myself as LGBTQ life coach because I want to support other people to change their behavior, especially because when we talk about the mind is not complicated, but it's complicated as well, and you can change. I want to finish this video with this hope message. You can change if you want, and there is always a solution, but you have to work to find it. I had to work to find a solution for myself, and finally to be what I am today. That I still have some issues, but I'm aware about my issue, and I know how can fight bad Fabio. The word here is a really bad voice. So let's talk about this month about mental health, how important it is, and I want during the month to talk more and more, especially to all people, companies, everybody. Let's be aware, let's not be ashamed, and let's create together a world where we can be ourselves. Hope that you enjoyed my first video of mental health month, I will call, and I will see you next time. And remember, be true to you. Bye bye.